Yo, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Unnamed Sports Show right here on Gorilla Cross Radio. I'm your host, Quan59, and we have another dope, exciting show for you today, talking about everything going on in sports for the next hour. Follow us at Unnamed Sports Show on all social media and at Gorilla Cross on all social media, and you can follow me at Quan59 on all social media as well. If you're watching live, please share the live video stream. Send us your comments. And, we will get to you when we can. But I do have a special guest live in the studio with me today. A comedian.
All right.
All the way from, well, he lives in Las Vegas right now. We'll let you know where he's from. Where are you from? Are you?
Toledo, Ohio.
Toledo, Ohio.
Absolutely.
We got.
419, how y'all doing?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic.
Got greatness in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you feeling?
So glad to be here, man. Thank you for the opportunity. Once again, I've always enjoyed coming up here to Gorilla Cross, kicking it with the guys, talking man stuff.
Yes, sir. And we met a while ago in the old studio.
Yes.
So you were doing some work in the studio next door.
Doing some work with, shout out to E. Carice out there at Hot 7025. Met you in passing, I think it was a couple times.
Yeah.
You guys were like on the corner.
We were right next door to each other.
Right next door to each other. So those were always fun vibes, man. And you know.
Went to that Thai food restaurant, La Thai, downtown.
You know, I never ate there.
You did. We went together with Icrease.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Because that was the first time I actually talked to you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Right. I was thinking about that was a Japanese store that was right underneath us at some point, whatever it was. I remember the Thai spot across the street. I got it.
But that's the thing with downtown Vegas. Like, things are there and then they're not there.
And then they're not there.
Like, you just don't know, and it's gone. So, but yeah, man, glad to have you in. Tell the people about you. Stand-up comedy.
Yes.
Done podcast.
I started stand-up comedy professionally back in 2010. Was coming off of my second tour in Iraq. United States Army Reservist for 13 years. Started off my journey 2010 of being a comedian. Moved out to Vegas in 2013. And just been trying to hit the ground running ever since then, man. The journey's been great. Was able to put out an Amazon special a couple years ago, which has been receiving great success thanks to all of the people that have supported. If you haven't supported To Find Greatness on a Mission, Amazon Prime, watch it, leave a review so I can get these numbers up so I can have even more stronger negotiations when it comes to doing more opportunities. But yeah, man, my journey's been great.
Where was that recorded at?
That was recorded here. That was recorded here in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Space LV.
Okay.
Which is a shout out to all those people running that over there, man. Little duck off spot off of I think it's Dean Martin. Little duck off.
Yeah, it's right off on near Maine. And
yeah. But yeah, shout out to them, man. They was good hosts, good business people, man, to get that off. And like I said, man, it's been doing great. It's been able to get me in some doors that wasn't open before. Yeah. So the journey's been great, man. I've embraced the journey, and I'm just grateful, man. Grateful and blessed.
That's good, man. You have anything coming up?
As of right now, no. Just plugging away at my social media influence. Y'all can follow me on all social media platforms at To Find Greatness. I'm in the lab, man. I'm in the lab just cooking up new stuff. So when the opportunity comes for me to get back on stage, I'm giving y'all fresh, new stuff and keeping that flow going, man. It's been a long year, though.
Yeah.
It's been a long year.
How's that been for you? Because social media definitely is something where, like, as a comedian, as a stand-up, like, you have to be doing social media now, right?
Yeah.
You can't just do stand-up comedy and not have a social media presence and get recognized anymore.
You can't, man. I mean, you can for those who've already established themselves as that big brand, man. But I don't necessarily look at it as a hindrance, man. I think it's an added feature to just touch people that you wouldn't be able to touch in public or as frequent, you know, and not touch in the physical way for everybody out there, because I know it gets weird when you start using those type of words. But
especially in 2023.
Especially in 20. But nah, it's just it's an like I said, it's an added feature, man, for you to be able to get noticed from a worldwide web. Like that's what it is. So I think for anybody in the entertainment industry, no matter what genre, man, social media has to be a part of your brand. It just has to be. And I think once you break through and I just become just this viral sensation, man, I think it becomes a lot easier for you to be recognized. Yeah. But I do believe that the pressure does start to become like, now you have to
becomes a job.
Put out stuff. Yeah, it becomes a whole nother occupation.
See, but I think if people recognize that and use that as an asset instead of a hindrance, I think that's the thing a lot of businesses and business owners and talent, they do, is they look at it as a hindrance, like, I got to do this. But it's like, cool, you could do that at home in your bed.
Yeah.
You can create all your videos. You could just post it up in the morning, post one up in the afternoon, like however you want to run your social media. And you could be more creative with it. And you got to realize, like, you can do that from the comfort of anywhere you're at.
True.
You don't have to go to a regular job and do all these other things to promote your business. You don't have to buy billboards on the strip. You can if you want. But, I mean, people need to utilize that better instead of thinking of it as a hindrance, because you do. I mean, that's something I struggle with, too. With my business, with the studio, is like having that social media presence every single day.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, man, I'm scrolling through Instagram already.
It's tedious.
Why am I not just doing my own stuff?
It's a tedious process. And with the internet, man, everything moves so fast. So your viral moment can be exactly that, a viral moment. And now we've moved on to the other person who's decided that they're just going to drink fish tank water and blow up that way, or create a new dance or whatever. So I think a lot of people, man, that's, because like you said, it's kind of a struggle. I've dealt with that as far as saying, well, I got to do this. I don't want to do this, and like I want to let this breathe and stuff like that. But yeah, man, you got to develop the habit of understanding what it means to build that particular asset for you. And once you look at it as an asset and understand the parameters on all that you need to take, man, I think it works out for those who just keep at it. Because that's one of the things that you have to do as well. You just got to keep at it.
Yeah.
The minute you get complacent, or the minute you feel like you've made it, like you said, the viral internet moment is going too fast. Everybody's always looking for the next internet person. So it's just, it's technology, people. It's technology. It's 2023. Yeah.
Have you ever been heckled on stage where where you just couldn't deal with it, or
nah?
Are you pretty good at?
Listen, being one of the blessings of being from Toledo, Ohio, is that we like to talk about each other all the time. Like, there's no layoff. So the heckling thing has never been an issue for me to where I feel like it's too much, bro. Yeah. I've been able to handle myself in the times that I have been heckled, and in a professional, comedic manner. Now, I do know that there are times where somebody just wants to be an asshole, and wants to and just wants to bait you into doing something to them so they can get a pay cut, they can get a paycheck. So those people, like, you can acknowledge them, but there's always a clever way to acknowledge them and then also let them know, like, this ain't what you want. And then hopefully
it's not even giving them the time of day.
Yeah, it's not even giving them time of day. And then hopefully, if you are in an establishment that, has people to escort those people out, because at the end of the day, the audience is here to see a show. Like, they don't want to see me up here bantering with someone who's completely just tried to ruin the show.
Really just wants attention too.
Yeah, they just want attention. But no, I don't have a problem with heckling. Sometimes I wish in certain instances that it does happen. So there's been times where my set hasn't went.
You're like,
somebody needs
to heckle me right now. So I go in a different direction with this.
I need an audible right now. But nah, man, it's just I embrace it when it comes, man, and I feel like I'm equipped enough and witty enough and to handle it when it does come.
Now, do you know any comedians that plant hecklers at their shows?
No, I don't know any personally, but I can assume that they're there.
Yeah,
I can assume that there's.
Because I've been watching a lot of like videos on YouTube about hecklers. I'm like, some of these feel a little.
Oh yeah,
planted.
Yeah,
like it's going too well.
Yeah,
like everything's too perfect.
Yeah, right, and that's the thing, man.
And that can be part of the show, and that's fine. Like I'm fine with it.
Like now, I do know that there's been shows that have been constructed for people to be heckled, like for comics to be heckled, because in those certain instances, they're trying to strengthen a stand-up comics, portfolio or whatever. But I do know of those. But just to have people going with you on shows randomly and then just planting them there and say, "Hey, man, at this point, I need you to do this." Like that's You can swing your craft and sharpen your craft better in my opinion.
Yeah.
All
right, man. And we'll throw social media out, again before we close the show out. But definitely check them out, man, and check out the special on Amazon. We'll link that in the description of this show. So make sure you guys check that out. I have not checked that out yet, so I do apologize because you've told me about it before.
3 years.
I still haven't. Donnell's in the chat saying he was there at the show when it was being recorded.
One of the greatest supporters
in
Las Vegas, man. Shout out to the Thomas family, man. I love those guys, man. Donnell has been one of the most stand-up individuals, humans that I've met in life, man. And they've definitely been a fuel to keep me going, man, to keep me on my toes, man. So shout out to them. And they work front row, VIP, all that. Those are real supporters.
Yeah. And I think more people need to support even online, bro. I tell people this all the time. Like, why did you not like my story? Like, just like it real quick. Because it helps with the algorithm of everything you're doing. So you don't even have to watch the whole thing. Just like my thing, and it helps. Like, that's support right there. But people, why is it that people have such a hard time supporting? Like, even right now, like, we could have people just watch the show for a little bit, throw some comments in there, but help with the algorithm. Then they can leave if they want.
Yeah. It's because secretly they don't like you. It's just what it boils down to. I tell everybody all the time, man. One of the things that I've appreciated about the internet is that it provides a lot of free stuff for you to do, for you to support. I've always been a person that says, hey, do the free stuff, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. It's all free. I'm not asking you for a subscription. I'm not asking. I've gotten to a point where, I don't ask a lot of people to come out to the show, because I understand people have lives. I understand how much of a financial implement it is in your budget. Like, sometimes people just don't got it, or you just can't make it.
How much are your shows right now? Because you're not Kevin Hart numbers. You're not selling shows for $300.
My shows.
So you probably
not expensive.
Average $25 a ticket.
They're not expensive. Like,
all right. So when you see someone not go to your show, and then you see them online at Starbucks every day, ordering out every day, buying stuff they don't need, buying clothes that don't even fit, don't even look right on them, and they can't support a $20, $25 ticket.
Yeah,
but they're Starbucks every day spending $7, $8 daily. How's that make you feel?
Tell me you just don't like me right now at $20. Like you was messing with me at open mics, and now that I've escalated to where I got to show that you have to pay $20. Just say, hey, my supporters run out. But I tell them your alternative is to like, comment, share, subscribe. I put out enough content online for you to do that.
But then they don't even do that.
So then I go.
Isn't it weird that when you first start out with something, right? Like when I first started doing my radio shows, and I'm not consistent enough, so I don't really look at my numbers. I don't care about the numbers like that. I have fun doing it. I make money in the studio.
Right.
I don't need to make money on my podcast right now. Like, I want to get there eventually, but I know I haven't put in enough time. But isn't it funny? Like, when I first started out, everybody I knew was watching, like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. You got a show. But then when you actually get to a level of success to where it's like you're doing a lot more, everything's a lot more professional, they don't watch anymore. They don't pay attention. They don't want to share. And I know they see it because they'll say things. Oh yeah, I saw you had your show.
You still doing your little show? Your little radio show?
You still doing that little podcast?
That little podcast you got going on? Yeah, that's.
I had a guest say that once. Oh, I got to go do this little podcast interview. I'm like, bro, I'm right here. I'm right here, bro.
And that's just, I think that's just a creature of human habit, man, of people saying that and not understanding just like how demoralizing that is, man.
But then it's like, well, I could do that too. I could be a stand-up comedian. So why am I going to support him? I could do that. Let me do that then.
And I tell people, if you think you can, do it. I'll come out and show you. I'll come out and support you and let you know why I'm better than you at this. Yeah, some people are, I think I've learned over the course of my life, man, that some people just don't value rarity anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you can be great at something, right? And somebody would nowadays will look at you and go, I think I can do that. Not knowing like the sweat equity, the rehearsals, the gall to just keep at it when things haven't been the greatest. That when a lot of people don't see the backstory or behind the scenes as how much people didn't cried, how much people didn't gave up. Listen, man, I've been
the work you put in to get to where you're at.
I've been a professional comedian for 13 years, man, and I can tell you there has been it damn near happens once a year to where I get frustrated, man. I get there's so much just overwhelmingness of frustration or just that any other person would, go to their plan B or their plan C or whatever plan letter you on just to not have those feelings. And it's just like, nah, man, like, so I think a lot of people just don't value the rarity of when somebody is doing something that they feel like is purposeful for their life. And people just feel like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. Well, yeah, if it was
but I think
playing with Play-Doh.
I think the problem is, especially with technology these days, the ability to do something is there now, right? Like this studio started this recording studio in '98. I was running studio sessions out of my house. And then computers took over where you can plug a microphone into your laptop and now you can record yourself.
Yes.
And now you have a studio.
Yes.
And, come to my studio now. So people would go to their homeboy studio and they'd be like, oh, that's a laptop. But they don't know what they're doing with it.
True.
They're not good at it. So just because you have the ability to go up there and get on stage
doesn't mean,
or to start a comedy page on social media. Yeah, any of us could start any type of business on social media. That doesn't mean it's going to be successful or we're going to be good at it.
And people need to understand about the journey and the process, man. And just, everybody can start a business. That is a fact.
Yep.
Everybody can start a business. Now, how many businesses are successful to where you're proud of starting this business and this business has boomed? There's a lot more businesses that have failed than have succeeded. That's a fact. So there's a lot of professional athletes that haven't reached a success. Everybody doesn't win a championship. Everybody doesn't go to the Hall of Fame. And so you gotta figure it out, man, and support those or understand the people that are really going after it, man. It's a lot more than just a foundational level of accomplishment there. Like there's deep research, there's deep ownership of learning their craft, man.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool.
Well, talking about stand-up comedy and funny stuff going on, let's move to sports. Josh Giddey's girlfriend's 15 and he's 21 years old. So why are you laughing, bro? R. Kelly did it. Why can't the Australian do it?
Because he's not good. You haven't reached R. Kelly stages of the NBA. It's sad.
Now they're doing investigations, so I mean, I'll never throw someone under the bus before you know the information,
right?
Because I'm sure when we were in our 20s, we would meet girls that would lie about their age. There were 16-year-olds in the clubs.
Yes, sir.
People they have fake IDs, so you don't necessarily know.
I knew girls in high school whose boyfriends were 21, 22. They would pick them up from school. It was right in our face. We getting on the yellow bus. You're jumping in the Cutlass Supreme, Bach Chevy. Come on. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that these allegations have come up, man, and yeah, the amount of, I don't know, man, just the gray areas as to how young girls get to lie about their age and stuff like that. Like, yeah.
And it was supposedly a couple years ago. So, I mean, he might have been 19 and she was 15 or 16. And so it's kind of hard because that age difference, like now at our age, like if you were single, you could date someone that's 10 years younger and it's normal, but it could be 2 years difference. If you're 18 and she's 16 or 15, it's
statutory,
weird. So
that statutory law is real.
Yeah.
It's real.
But it's crazy. You know, like if you're 7, you could decide if you want to cut off your junk and be a girl, but you don't know if you... That's the thing that confuses me. Like if you line up all the ages and what you say people can and cannot think,
or what people are entitled.
Ages.
Because that's the word that's frequently just been thrown around, what a person is entitled to choose as to what they want to do and want to say. And I don't remember the last time when I was dating and asked a girl what her age was, and she said the age, and I was like, "Nah, you lying. Like, show me your ID and stuff like that." Now, luckily for me, my women were of age all the time. So, but it's just like,
and and if you have to ask a girl for an ID, she might look too young for you anyways. Like, just don't do it. But watching the videos that they've put out of him with this girl, he doesn't look like he thinks she's a certain age. Yeah. Because if he was 19 dating a 14 or 15-year-old, which they were saying she was a junior in high school, which juniors are usually 17.
Yes.
So depending on where it was, I heard if it was in Oklahoma City, like it's 16 is the legal age of consent. So I don't know.
All that. You got to take into account all that. And like people just in casual dating conversations, man, that's not happening like that. So, you know.
Because, those videos didn't look like he was, but who knows?
And
you never know what someone, what their secret life is. Maybe he likes young.
What I would ask the young lady and her parents and all that. Is Josh Giddey even good?
He's a good player. He's making money.
Is Oklahoma's okay? He's making money. He's not making Gilchrist money.
Not yet.
Yeah,
he could.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you might have jumped on the bag too early, guys.
Could have waited 3 more years till you signed that second contract.
Yeah, sometimes you got to wait on the contract extension before you just start screaming out something. Wait on the contract extension to get the maximum financial compensation.
But I'm not even sure if it was her or her family. Like, I don't even think they were thinking anything like that. They might now that it came out, but
I would hate for it to be another NBA player who was just hating. Because that happens
too.
And
that's the thing. It could have been anybody because it was like a social media account that happened to just randomly put it up, and then the whole account is deleted now. So I don't know. But at the same time, like as a professional athlete, we talked about this with just training and PR for athletes and entertainers and hip hop artists. Like you don't have a lot of that anymore to teach people how to act because let's face it, like when you're in the limelight, you live in a different world than you did when like us, like the normal everyday people, you know what I'm saying? So there's things you have to do different. So you have all these women throwing themselves at yourself or girls, depending on their age. So you just have to do things different when you have that limelight.
You got to manage it better. And unfortunately, this is an issue that's not going to go away. As long as there is professional sports, as long as there are women and men on this planet, you're going to have this issue. You just hope that it doesn't fall on you if you're in that field. This not going to go away.
Yeah.
If it's not Josh Giddey, it's somebody else later on in the year or next year.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that we live in this society where that's glamorized. That's glamorized and there's people that set themselves up to go achieve that or be a victim of that. because of the way you moving. So, man, I prayers and thoughts to
everybody,
to
the whole situation.
And
that's the thing. I try never to, I don't know the story, so I'm not making him innocent or guilty.
Yeah, if he's
not making her innocent or guilty.
If he's a good basketball player, he looks like he has some potential.
It's pretty good, man. He's still young,
Yeah. Okay.
But at the same time, his could hurt his career. But they've still been letting him play. So they haven't taken the route that they do a lot of players.
How's he been doing since?
In the NFL, we see this all the time. Like there's accusations of domestic abuse against players, and they get cut from the team all the time in the NFL. Unless you're the white kicker for the Giants that one year. Yeah. He had beat his wife a lot.
He was getting crazy.
He was whooping his wife and, still had a team or got signed or whatever.
How's Josh Giddey's numbers since the allegations? That would tell a lot, too.
15 and under.
Okay. Well, that's not enough. Kobe went on a run.
He likes 15 and under. 15 and under is good for him.
Kobe went on a run. Now, if Josh Giddey starts putting up 30 a night, innocent.
Innocent.
Sometimes you got to play yourself. I think
you got to show them
Kobe's run. He had to let people know. No, I am, and y'all are playing with me. And
so that makes more sense. Now I know what you mean. Like, is he good? Because I'm like, dude, he's good. But you're putting him on that level with Kobe and his accusations and all that. So I get it.
And you just gotta. Sometimes you gotta understand like where you are in the spectrum of even professional athletes. Like, there's people just because you in the NBA don't mean you make the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain individuals that can get away with stuff that no, Josh Giddey, if you 15 points or under, you can't get away with this. Especially on a franchise trying to get on the up and up. But
so if he was a Kobe or LeBron, we probably wouldn't have even heard this news come out.
No.
Okay.
And if the news does come out, you're going to see that player get on the court and play his way to innocence. Yeah. Kobe's run. Kobe didn't score below 40 points during that whole thing. No. That was like a 20-game run. Yeah, when somebody's playing that well, they innocent, bro.
And this dude was in Colorado, and they had a game in L.A. He would get on the helicopter at 2 PM and get back to L.A. to get to practice or get to the court at 5.
Sometimes you gotta say, hey, I just can't. I can't. The he say, she say.
Yeah,
I probably won't win that. But if you, I guarantee you, if you guys put Lakers with the points tonight, if FanDuel would have been out for Kobe Bryant during that time, you talk about the money made.
Man.
Yeah.
All right.
Josh Giddey got to make the All-Star team. This all go away.
All right, so you're a Bulls fan for the NBA, so we'll talk a little more NBA. You're a Bulls fan. 2 years ago at this time, they were like they had one of the best records in the Eastern Conference. It looked like, the Bulls are back finally. They have LaVine. They got DeMar DeRozan. They got Lonzo Ball.
We got the big man, Vujacic. We got the pieces to make a run, to be competitive.
Look like the Bulls are back. Like they're going to be a team in the East to be reckoned with, and now they look horrible.
Worst product in the NBA right now.
And they're going to blow this team up.
They have to.
Like this is not.
They have to. They have to now because. They have to.
Lonzo's out for the year. It's crazy when they announced last year at this time that he was going to miss this year too.
Yeah, and I think, unfortunately, because I thought Lonzo Ball was a good basketball player. I really did. I thought LaMelo was a good basketball player. I thought the Ball brothers were good basketball players enough to be in the NBA and enough to whatever team that they were on to make their team better. And I thought, when Lonzo came over there and we were being competitive and we had the pieces and all that to make a run, felt good as a Bulls fan.
Yeah.
And then he put those goddamn shoes on. And it all went to once he went down.
That really might have ruined him.
Yeah. It ruined him, man. And I think now more than anything, you're trying to figure out if Lonzo Ball is even going to be an NBA player anymore, because these type of injuries and just the way that certain players that when they're so injury prone, you just, as a league, you just go, all right, so y'all was the last team that had them. And If somebody, if you've already been ruled out the next year, and you haven't even had the surgery to to get the repair done this year, that lets you know, man, that everybody knows what the inevitable is. And unfortunately for the Chicago Bulls, the pieces that we have is just it's not working out anymore. I think people have grown tired of just the lackluster commitment to getting the franchise together, man, and being competitive. And everybody's making moves around you, and you can't, whether it's money cap, because I think Lonzo Ball is a money hit in some way, so you just can't move off him right now like that. And so DeRozan's a high paid player. Dak's been looking for a max contract deal for God knows how long. So, and I think everybody.
Levine just signed, so I mean his contract he still has at least 3 years left.
And that's
on that.
work, but I think people are. I thought coming into this year, I said, okay, no moves made, same roster out here. A year later, it's like, nah. I think everybody's now trying to focus on where am I going to play the remaining of my years. I think DeMar DeRozan, he'll stay.
Which is sad because I still look at the roster. I'm like, this team should be way better than 5-14.
But
they're on a 5-game losing streak.
Yes.
So they don't want to play there. There's
don't
something
play
else
there.
going on.
I was never a big fan of Billy Donovan in the first place.
Didn't they have a team meeting after, like a players only meeting after game 2?
I'm sure they did.
Something crazy like that. It was like game 2. They had
if you have a team meeting in the
players only meeting, so
players.
Yeah, something else is going on there. Coaching.
Yeah, I think it's a complete organizational debacle going on, and I think everybody.
And Billy Donovan has a big name. I feel like if he didn't have a big name, if he was like a younger coach, he might have already been gone by now.
Yeah,
because Bulls weren't supposed to be great this year, but they were still playoff contention. They were still playing contention, but right now they look like one of the worst teams
and I just
in the
never
league
been
with good players.
Never been a fan of Billy Donovan as an NBA coach.
Yeah.
I don't know what type of success that if he hasn't had the superstar players to get him over the hump, I don't think he has ever been the coaching dynamic in the NBA. In Florida,
oh yeah. He was great in Florida.
He was doing magnificent things in Florida. And I think for some reason, the NBA continues to drag him along and with that mystique of what he was doing in Florida. So when he was hired as the Bulls coach, I thought, because we just had to get rid of the guy that we had previous to him, but I don't think it was a significant upgrade. And I think it's starting to show now, like, that mystique has ran out.
Yeah.
And if you can't seem to muster the pieces that you have on the roster right now with the athleticism and like I said, the pieces. When you look at the Bulls' roster, they shouldn't be last in the East. They should not be last in the East. And so, yeah, man, it's and
there's two teams worse than them. Washington is 3-14. The Pistons are 2-15. About to be 2-16 now if Lakers could take care of them.
True. Yeah, so it's just a matter of we shouldn't be at the bottom. We should not be at the bottom.
Yeah. With
that roster looks bare minimum 6th, 7th seed on in the East. So if we're third to last in the East in the overall consumption of the NBA, we should not be this bad, but we are. And I didn't want to go back to the days of Eddie Curry and Tyson Chandler and Marcus Pfizer and all that, but it looks like that's where we're going, and it's unfortunate because I like Zach.
I wouldn't even compare those teams because at least that was young players. So it's like if you're bad and you're young, you could deal with that a lot more than being bad with people that are on max contracts, all-star players that seem like they should work together and at least win more than 5 games.
Yeah,
at least be 500 right now.
Yeah,
but being 5-14, I mean that's ridiculous. So something else is going on there. But I mean,
sad stuff.
Listen, man, I wouldn't mind you guys trading Caruso back to the Lakers.
Take him.
You know what I'm saying?
Take him because that's that too. I like the players that's on the Bulls, I like them as players. I like watching them play basketball. Like I love watching Alex Caruso play basketball. I love watching Zach LaVine. I love watching DeMar DeRozan play basketball. It's just not coming together anymore here, and it's just and the Bulls mystique, man, like that's the house that Jordan built, and what we did in the '90s, man. If that's what we've been chasing ever since then, and so it all started with the damn Adidas and Derrick Rose. It all started there, and it's just never gotten back to where it needed to be. There was a quick light beam, and then Lonzo Ball went down, and that's where we're at. So.
The NBA in-season tournament is it's all set for the quarterfinals and all that. I don't even have the teams pulled up. I know Lakers made it. They play really well when they're playing for the with the in-season games, in-season tournament games, and then they don't play that well if it's not for something. So I don't know what it is mentally with the Lakers that look great during those games and then just don't look that great afterwards. But there was things going on that we just don't see in the NBA. Like when you're up big, you take your starters out. But last night, there were some teams they had to win
by a certain amount
of points, right?
Yeah, I was seeing that.
Boston had to win, I think, by 22, something crazy.
Some wild.
So they kept their players in. They were doing hack a Draymond. They were sending people to the line up by 20 points.
Yeah.
I like it. A lot of the players were like, this felt weird because they're used to not running up the score, like chilling a little bit. Golden State, they were up.
They had to win by 12.
They had to win by 12 points, right? Against a very good team, a team they played against in the playoffs last year, a team that's very evenly matched with them.
Yeah,
they had to win by a certain amount of points, right? So they're trying to run up the score, but I think that cost them the game because they were trying to play to win by a certain amount. They end up losing the game when they were up big.
Yeah,
they were up by 22, I think, in the game.
I remember watching it, and then
You remember yesterday?
I remember watching it.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was a couple drinks later, too. But I remember watching it, and I was just like, wow, this looks like it's about to be a cakewalk. And then I came back a couple minutes later, and Sacramento was going on a run, and then the whole fourth quarter, I was like, oh. And then at the bottom of the screen when I was saying, like, they had to win by this in order to advance, but then Sacramento just had to not lose by that or win the game.
They just had to win the game.
And so Sacramento was like, no, just go win the game. And so,
because Sacramento could have took the easy ride and like, well, as long as we only lose by 10, we're still in.
We're still in.
But they have a lot more to prove than just trying to get into a in-season tournament.
And everybody in the NBA now, man, is set in stone. When Golden State is on everybody wants to beat Golden State.
Yeah.
Like by any means. They just want to beat them. And so shout out to the in-season tournament. It's still confusing to me a little bit, but I see it is. And at first, I was like, there's some real bad basketball being played early in this thing. But I guess the incentive is kicking in, and teams is really starting to get aggressive. So,
but I felt like it was a lot more competitive overall. Like there were some blowout games, but I think overall you saw teams actually playing hard.
Yeah.
And you don't see that a lot in November. So I think from that standpoint, what the NBA is trying to do with it, put some meaning into early season basketball.
Yeah,
I think it kind of worked.
It kind of worked.
I think they're going to have to tweak some things moving on, like that whole win by a certain amount of points or something. Like I think they could try to figure out something different. Like I said, I don't mind it. The players do. I love seeing a team run up the score. Like if you could beat them by 50,
beat them by 50.
I don't care.
Beat them by 50. And I think it was just a ploy to make sure that the superstars play a lot more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but the other thing that could happen though, this didn't happen this time. But let's say you had Jason Tatum in while you're up by 20 points in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left,
and he blows a tire. Then what?
And then you have to change the whole thing around because it's like, man, what we thought was going to help us end up hurting us.
And that's probably what's going to end up happening too.
Yeah.
Like that's what it takes. It takes for one of your big bags, your big bag players to go down for something meaningless. You know what I mean? Kind of like, hate to bring it back to my Bulls, but Derrick Rose didn't need to be in the game. Didn't need to be in the game during the time.
And that was a playoff game.
Yeah, we were up. We were up. But
that's Thibodeau for you. I can't even find it on ESPN.com.
All the teams.
standings for the in season, like who's going. And I know Lakers play Phoenix, but I can't find. I don't know. Just Google it, guys.
And I think I'm curious to see how well, because I think it's the grand prize is what, $500K for each player, or is it?
I think it's. I'm not sure if it's each player or the team.
The team, and then the in-season trophy, whatever that means.
But to be able to get the first one, like I know a lot of people are like, we're playing for championships, but to be able to say you got the first one, if this is something that lasts a long time, it might mean something. So I mean, you're getting paid some more money, you're getting recognition. The games in Vegas, the semifinals and the finals are in Vegas on the 8th and 9th or 7th and 9th, something like that.
Yeah, shout out to Vegas getting everything.
Yeah, they're getting everything here.
Wow.
So I think that's really dope.
Yeah.
And it is making the beginning of the season, worth watching. Then after that, because usually people aren't tuning in till the Christmas Day games, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why they did it. Let's end it right before Christmas. So now we got people's attention.
Yeah.
Christmas comes up. So, I'll be.
Christmas comes up. The people that lost in the tournament are going to be pissed. By the time the Christmas games are over, then we're preparing
and then you
for
got
the
All-Star game. And then you got trade deadlines.
Yeah, trade deadline.
And then the
so they've
playoffs
worked
coming
it
up.
out. Yeah, so they've worked it out to make it to where, we stay in the whole season. Because I've always
and they're trying to get the casuals. Like I'm watching preseason basketball. You know what I'm saying? But I also got 4 TVs, so I could have NFL, Major League.
Oh, you got
So I can watch everything. But there's been times I'll turn on a Laker preseason game over the World Series. You know what I'm saying? So but not everyone's like that.
Not everyone.
So it is a good thing to get. And I'm interested to see the analytics after this season to see what they did in November.
Yeah.
To get like that. So
see the numbers.
Yeah. And who knows? Like the in-season tournament, like there's no other teams playing those days. I don't think. No, they couldn't schedule any games because if they would have made the finals, so everyone's going to be watching the semifinals and the finals of the in-season tournament next weekend.
Yeah,
like all the NBA players, they're off, so they're all going to be watching that. So I think it's interesting. So I want Lakers to go and win something because they
possibly won't be
it might not be the championship.
Yeah, it might not.
Especially with Anthony Davis playing good every 3 games. But that's another day, another story.
Do Laker fans have, like I've always disabled is that's who he is. So you give him away for who?
I don't think you give him away necessarily.
Well, you trade him.
I think you just bring in other people that quit trying to put that pressure on him to be something he's not.
Okay.
He's a good player.
He can't be the man.
He can't be the second man.
Okay.
I don't even think he could be the second man. I think he'd be a great third option. But Lakers paid him like he's the man. So
to keep him there.
Because he looks great at times. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll have those games where it's like, okay, if you played like this all the time, you'll be great. But now, this year, it's not even every other game. It's every other half. Like he'll be great in the first half and then we'll score 1 bucket in the second. I think there's only been 4 games all season where he's shot over 20 balls a game. If you're only shooting the ball less than 20 times, like he should easily be getting up 20 shots a game.
But I will say that if there's a prop bet out there as to how many times Anthony Davis hits the floor every game.
More than he shoots.
It's more than he shoots.
Yeah.
I just turned over. I just looked at the screen over there and they was picking him up off the floor. Can't be 7 feet on the floor all the time.
Yeah.
I think he's fallen more than Allen Iverson.
That's possible.
I think he's fallen more on the floor than Allen Iverson. And Allen Iverson was at every possession on the floor.
Yeah.
But he was really getting fouled too. So
yeah, he was getting fouled. And he was 6'1", 180.
Yeah. Anthony Davis is 7 feet.
There's a big difference.
Probably what? Anthony Davis by what? 225, 230, maybe?
Well, yeah. Maybe more.
Now.
Yeah, he's yeah.
When he first came out, because always disabled. You guys got to Mr. Street Clothes is what they call it.
All right, let's move on to the NFL.
Why we are here.
There's a big game happening this Sunday. This is our regular season Super Bowl. Let's just say this is
There-
our
and
regular season Super Bowl.
There's always
49ers
one in the
and Eagles.
NFL. There's always a regular season Super Bowl game. Okay, there's always one, and I think there's always one on in both divisions, NFC, AFC. I think ours is this Sunday, and I'm here to tell all Eagles fans, it's not going the way y'all think it's about to go.
I feel like it's not going to be as bad as the Cowboys blowout. But I think it's going to be that same feel where a lot of people are like, nah, this game's going to be good. This is going to be a good, close game.
And then boom.
Granted, that game was at home in San Francisco. This game's in Philly. So you deal with the Philly crowd. It's going to be a little bit tougher. But, we thought that a lot of people were saying that about the Jacksonville. Obviously, like their fan base and crowd isn't nothing like Philly. But they're at home. They're one of the best teams in the AFC. Like, I still think they could go to the Super Bowl because the AFC is a little weak this year.
The NFC?
With not knowing what the AFC.
Oh, yeah.
Is a little weak
with Jacksonville. Yeah.
With Jacksonville, with not knowing what Kansas City's going to do.
Yeah.
They haven't looked that good this year, even though they're winning games.
They don't have receivers.
But the NFC right now, so, I mean, we went in there and we made Jacksonville look like a major below average
team. Like
team.
They don't belong.
And I think we do that to Philly. Philly got overhyped last year. Like, obviously, if you lose your quarterback in the first drive of the game, it's not going to be a good game in the playoffs. You can't lose a quarterback and have it be a good game.
Then you can't lose a quarterback. You can't lose the other one who had no idea, who had no expectations of playing. Now, listen.
He's still in the ground in Philly. They're still trying to pick him up.
They're still trying to get Josh Johnson.
Now, he retired after that. He's like, I don't want to play ever
XFL
again.
It is at best. But now I'll give Philly credit. They did what they were supposed to do. The reasons why we lost quarterbacks is because Philly played in the backfield a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And credit to them. They did what they were supposed to do. All that is fine and dandy. Brand new season, brand new just scheme of how both teams have responded to this season. And I've liked the way Philly has gotten to their 10-1. They could easily be 7-4.
Yeah.
I've watched enough games to see the teams that were beating them let Philly off the hook, and Philly took advantage, is what you're supposed to do, as opposed to the games that we've lost when we went on our 3-game losing streak. It wasn't like at any point in those games I said, oh, this team is just too much for us. Yeah. I felt like we were in positions and we beat ourselves in a multitude of ways. And so I think this game, being where it's at in Philly, being the time of year that it is, this is close to we're on the back end of the regular season. This is for seeding. This is for bragging rights as to the dominant team in the NFC. And I just believe the product that we're going to put out there on Sunday is going to overwhelm Philly to where they realize we got work to do. Yeah. We got work to do. And I think it's going to be good for us because that's the only team that's in the way.
It's the
only team that's in the way. Like in the NFC,
even in the AFC, like there's no team that I'm scared of. If we're healthy, and the only team that could beat us is us.
Yeah,
and the coach that gets scared in the playoffs and starts playing different if we're down.
Yeah, and
but other than that, and that's the thing. Even in this Philly game, if we go up to start the game, I feel like it's over right away.
Yeah,
we don't lose leads.
Yeah.
So I mean, listen, I'm excited about this game. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I don't.
Greatness.
I don't think in the fourth quarter. I don't think in the fourth quarter, Philly's going to have a chance to drive the ball down to win or tie the game. I think it's going to be a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter the whole time.
And I believe, to be honest with you, I think this game will solidify what Kyle Shanahan is. I think it will. I think because this as much as I love his offensive genius and the culture that he's brought to the Niners, there have been a lot of moments where Kyle Shanahan has been a shell of himself, and the other coach, I feel like the other coaches, when they beat the Niners, have a coming out party and become better coaches.
Yeah.
Like I watch Kevin McConnell, the guy that coaches in Minnesota. Ever since he's beat the Niners,
Oh, yeah.
his play calling has went through the roof to where they have Joshua Dobbs and are still in the hunt. And I think...
And we got that picture of Joshua Dobbs that I put up a couple weeks ago.
Absolutely. But I think Kyle Shanahan, whether he's up, especially if he's down, he's going to have to coach beyond.
He outcoaches himself. I think that's the problem with him.
He outcoaches
He's a great
himself.
Coach.
I love him, but he outcoaches himself.
Outcoaches himself sometimes.
He gets it. He puts us in a situation where it's like, no, you don't have to do that. You didn't have to do that at all. And so I think this is the game, and I think Nick Sirianni and I think his coaching staff, like I believe Philly is a great team, and as of right now, Philly in the NFC being 10-1,
you have to call them the best team.
They got to call them the best team. Unfortunately for Philly, the real ones are coming.
Yep.
Like the real ones are coming. Vegas knows it. The NFL's been knew it, and so the only thing they say have us now on is health.
Yeah,
and that's been clear and evident. I can't say like when we're not fully healthy, like there's chinks in our armor when we're not fully out there. But everyone has seen, hey, when we look at that injury report and we see everybody's playing, we've made teams this season look like they don't belong.
Yep.
And so I better hope somebody catches a cold out there in Philly or something. But we're on our way. And I think whether the outcome of this game, I think, will determine what the playoff what the game is going to be like in the playoffs. Because I do believe like these two teams will see each other again in the playoffs. I think so whether if it's in San Francisco or if it's in Philly, I think both teams will know exactly what they're getting on Sunday. And I don't think there'll be too many more different adjustments that you can make. You won't be able to make any personnel-wise. So, and
I think 49ers really need to win this game too, because if they lose, that's going to hinder them getting that first seed and having home field. So, Philly being 10-1, if they go to 11-1, and we have 4 losses.
No one ever thought 4 was the magic number.
Yeah.
To lose the number 1 seed. So, I think for us, winning the game for us puts us in a better situation to grab the number 1 seed.
Yep.
But I'm also a firm believer of this season, it don't matter where the hell we play at. It don't matter where we play at. We can beat anybody, anywhere. And on 2/11/2024, we're going to be hoisting the trophy here in Vegas. And I'm so glad that I don't have to travel
in our city.
Yeah, it's going to be so great.
We should have our own parade like right after they win.
Oh,
let's do it.
The way our fan base travels,
I feel like we could
happen.
set up a parade. It would be bigger than the Aces parade, which isn't saying much. That was like a block.
Yeah, and shout out to the Aces, man. I love you guys, and I think you guys deserve more.
All right, let's go through this weekend's NFL scores. We're going to predict every game, so we'll just go quick. We have Thursday Night Football tomorrow night. Seahawks at the Cowboys. This is a big game. Seahawks are 6-5 after that, feather picking,
ass whooping,
on Thanksgiving. And then the Cowboys are 8-3. Is their last loss against the 49ers?
Yeah.
Okay.
They haven't lost since
8-3. And they're 5.
Well, no. I'm sorry. It was Philly. They lost.
Oh, they lost to Philly.
They lost to Philly. That was their last.
Oh yeah, they've only beat teams that aren't good.
They only beat teams that are good.
They might beat Seattle, but I like Seattle's chances in this game. I'm going with Seattle with the upset. It's Geno, depending on his health, because he wasn't healthy against us. Didn't matter. It didn't matter who was playing.
It was going to be worse if he was completely healthy. Just let y'all know that.
I'm actually going with Seattle in this game.
Okay.
Against the Cowboys.
I'm going to pick Dallas. I think Dallas at home is a real thing, and they're getting a team just on the. Seattle's going to plummet, guys. Like, unfortunately, I will take Seattle with the points. I think it's going to be closer than
9
than what it is. Yeah, I think it's going to be closer than that. And they, Dallas has been putting up mad points at home, but I think I think Seattle will keep it close,
That's a
but
good bet
I
there.
still think Dallas is going to win.
All right, 49ers at the Eagles. We both got the Niners. Colts at the Titans. Ugly game.
Nasty work. But I'm going to go with the Colts.
I'm going with the Titans at home, even though the Colts I think are a better team. But
Gardner Minshew versus Will Levis.
yeah, I'm going with Titans. Chargers and Patriots. Man, two really bad teams. Chargers. I put this up. You know how easy it is to troll the let the ball bounce group. I mean, there's only one Chargers fan in there, but she's the easiest person to get mad.
Oh yeah.
But seriously, Justin Herbert is the most overrated quarterback. And I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. Everyone's like, how are you saying he's a bad quarterback? I didn't say bad. I'm saying overrated. I'm not even saying he's not a great quarterback or top 10 quarterback. But he's overrated because they've been saying his name with Patrick Mahomes, and he has not done anything.
He hasn't won.
I don't even think they've gotten to the playoffs. They might have gotten to the playoffs in 1 year.
And they was last year, and
But
they blew it in extreme Charger fashion.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of karma the Chargers organization
they're bad,
has,
and their
but
coach is
they're
getting
bad.
fired.
Oh yeah,
They
he's outta
can't.
here.
They can't stay with that coach. They're just not good,
They're
and they
not
have good players. And if he's supposed to be that great, then he would be a much better player. So I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I think he's very good.
Overrated.
Being overrated means you rated this guy too high.
Overrated.
And you guys were rating him at being like one of the best quarterbacks in the league, which he's not.
For fantasy,
he has talent.
he's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, he has talent. He puts up numbers.
But yeah.
But he's not winning games. He's choked a lot in the fourth quarters.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going with the Chargers in this game, though, because the Patriots
are god
horrible.
awful. And
This is Belichick's last year.
Be fired.
This is his last year.
And I also think Bill Belichick is sabotaging. I think he's sabotaging the New England Patriots. I think he's sabotaging.
I think you need to sabotage them. They're bad enough that you can't do much with them.
But I think
Mac Jones.
But I think he's
look.
been.
Oh, never mind. It was a highlight of Anthony Davis on the floor.
Yeah, he's coming. It's coming.
But Belichick needs to go.
Yeah, and I think, man, I think he's sabotaging his. I think he's sabotaging the organization.
Yeah. All right, next game we have the Lions at the Saints. I think this is going to be a very tricky game for the Lions. They're playing really well, but they're coming off a horrible loss, like a really bad loss. Yeah. And for a young team like that, I think this could be another loss for them.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick them to win, but I will not be surprised at all if New Orleans win at home.
Yeah.
Because
the Lions
they almost lost to the Bears a couple weeks ago, and they ended up coming back in the fourth quarter.
The Lions have done it again, ladies and gentlemen. They have pulled
the wool. The Lions skin.
The Lions mane.
Actually, I'm switching. I'm going with the Saints because I feel too much like Saints could win this game.
Yeah, I think
Saints are still trying. Like they could make the playoffs, being 5-6. They can still win that horrible division.
Yeah,
which we'll talk about this closer to the end of the year. Like, I hate that if you win your division and you have a horrible, like a 500 or losing record, like you should just get that taken away. If you have a 500 or under record, even if you win your division, you shouldn't be able to go to the playoffs. If there's other teams that are records. 4 games over 500 not making it to the playoffs because you won a division in a sorry division.
Yeah.
There was an NFC East a couple years ago where they were all like horrible,
all bad,
and someone had to go.
All bad.
Someone had to go to the playoffs. So I'm going with the Saints. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Saints.
All right. Falcons at the Jets. Aaron Rodgers practiced today. He might be coming back this year. He's not coming back this year. He wants to keep his name alive and relevant. There's no way he's coming back for this team because they're not going to be in any position for him to want to come back.
They're 4-7 right now.
If it was 7-4,
maybe
he would be trying to come back.
Absolutely.
Because he'd want to be the hero, come, move him into the playoffs, all that stuff. They have no chance to make the playoffs.
Because they're 4-7.
I'm going with the Falcons in this game because they did take the division lead last week.
Yes.
They're 5-6, but they took the division lead, so I think they want to hold on to that. So I think they're going to play hard and try to keep that. So I'm going with the Falcons.
I am too. Cardinals
at the Steelers. Cardinals are horrible. Give me the Steelers.
Yes, sir.
Dolphins and Commanders.
Easy work.
Dolphins have been struggling a little bit, and Commanders low key. they've been playing all right. Even after the trades, like they won the game after they traded their defense away. But I'm going with the Dolphins still. Broncos at the Texans, both 6-5.
It's probably gonna be the second best game of the week.
It's going to be a crazy game. That's a big game. Both teams like really trying to get in there.
Broncos
I'm going
on
with
5-game win streak.
They're killing it right now. But I'm going with D'Amico Ryan and the Texans. I love how they're playing. I love watching them. So I'm going with the Texans, even though this is going to be a toss-up game to me.
They're playing in Texas, right?
Yeah, they're playing in Houston.
All right. I'm with you.
Got Houston?
I got Houston.
All right, Panthers and Buccaneers, another horrible game. The Panthers have to be looking at C.J. Stroud like we made the wrong pick. Because they got Bryce Young, and he does not look close to being as good as C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud is already the best Ohio State quarterback to play in the professional football league.
Yeah.
Easily. And he's played, 10 games.
I'm going with the Bucs just because the Panthers are horrible and Bucs are at home. Browns at the Rams.
I'm going Rams.
I'm going Browns.
If Myles Garrett plays.
Garrett is supposed to be playing. They thought it was going to be a bad injury where he might be out for the year, but it ended up not being as serious. So it looks like Myles is going to play.
Put them Jack's arms on him. They took the regular arm off that he had that he said he popped. They took it off. He's going to have a brand new arm. If he's playing, I got the Browns. If he's not, I got the Rams.
Okay. And then Chiefs at the Packers. Packers coming off a big win. Jordan Love looking better. Packers have been looking better. Chiefs have not been looking that great. This is a Sunday night game. Give me the Packers at home.
I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Give me the Packers at home. Monday Night Football was supposed to be a great game. The Bengals at the Jags. Joe Burrow's not there anymore. I think we just see them going downhill from here.
I think they lose. I think the Bengals lose the rest of their games.
They're still good, so I think they'll win another game or two, but they're not going to win a lot.
Do we? Can you look up the rest of their schedule?
So they have the Jags, which they're going to lose, versus the Colts. They can win that with no quarterback. Versus the Vikings, at the Steelers, at the Chiefs, versus the Browns. So they might win the Colts and Vikings, but yeah, that might be it.
I think they're going to lose.
But they could lose those too.
I think they're going to lose the rest of their games. And
which might not be bad for them. Get a good draft pick.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing, going back to the Panthers being 1-10, they don't own their first-round draft pick. The Bears own their first-round draft pick. So the Bears are going to have 2 high draft picks.
If I was Carolina, I would tell the Bears, give me Justin Fields and have at it.
It's crazy.
Because honestly,
my mom's mad at me for not taking the Broncos, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
My mom's a Broncos fan, so.
And I like the Broncos, man. But I think their 5-game win streak is a good streak, man. But like you said, what Texas is doing down there in Houston, man, what the Texans are doing with D'Amico Ryans and C.J. Stroud's emerges, like when you see the team that at the beginning of the season you thought bottom. I didn't have the Texans high in the AFC South, let alone the AFC period. I thought they were just going to be the team that 4 or 5 wins, and it just be that. But I thought they were going to be at the bottom of the barrel. But to see them, and I just see them week after week just gaining more confidence. So when you see that team like that just came out of nowhere and it's just now they're hard out, pause, like, yeah, you got to play for real down there. You can't make too many mistakes.
Yeah. All right. Well,
hopefully it doesn't come down to a 58-yard field goal.
For real.
And shout out to Jake Elliott. Listen, Eagles fans, it's not going to come down to that.
Nah.
It's gonna be over by the time. It's not gonna come down to that. Just letting y'all know that.
Yeah, Niners winning this weekend. Listen, man, I appreciate you coming through.
I appreciate
you. We definitely got to do this again,
fun.
For sure.
Always fun.
Let them know one more time where they can find you, where they can reach you, and where they can get your latest episode or
Tavon Greatness. Tavon Greatness on all social media platforms. Also, I have an Amazon special called Tavon Greatness on a Mission. You can find on Prime Video. You can rent it, buy it. Don't forget to leave a review when you watch it. And if you're in the Las Vegas area, man, all the time, you can always catch me doing I always post it, doing some Stage Time, stand-up comedy, Raw Rules. Shout out to all my homeboys with the Being Better Friends podcast show. That's no longer a podcast. We're just a show.
You're just friends now.
We're just friends.
That's funny.
Shout out to all those guys.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming through and everybody tuning in live with us. Check us out every week, Unnamed Sports Show. Follow us at Unnamed Sports Show on all social media. And we are out.
Go Niners.
Go Niners.